Michael Vasquez reporting from the Oceanside International Film Festival. I have Sean Duggan and Rich DeCicco from the surf film Keep It a Secret.
Great.
Gentlemen, tell us a little bit about the project.
Well, the film came about, about 4 years ago. I came up with the idea that I was curious. I'm a surfer, Irish origin, Irish American. But I was curious, surfing in Ireland is starting to get prominent and well-known throughout the world, but I was curious about the start of the story. And so I started just doing some research around, hey, maybe I could come up with a scripted story. And then all of a sudden I started connecting with these pioneers of Irish surfing, and then quickly pivoted from a scripted film into a documentary about the start of surfing in Ireland in the 1960s.
I love this documentary. It opened my eyes to something I never even considered.
Yeah, I mean, when I started, I didn't know what to expect. I just you think about, you go on YouTube and you're like, okay, they're surfing now. It probably came about in the 80s, 90s. And you go back to, the origin, which the story does, to 1962, when Ireland was still really untouched by the modern world. And then to have this culture of surf reaching Ireland, and a lot of people don't know, but Ireland is a surfing paradise. This film will maybe no longer keep it a secret, but 2,000 miles of coastline, and this group of pioneers, which the film focuses on, they had it to themselves for about a decade. And the story is their journey into the water, and then also away from some of the things that were happening on land in Ireland at the time, mostly the conflict of the Troubles conflict.
Yeah, which is another whole story in itself, right?
Yeah, it was, we have two crews we look at. One crew from the Irish Republic, the Dublin crew, and another crew that was living in Belfast, which at that time in the 60s was starting to really come apart with the Troubles conflict. Really it's following the journey of those two camps of surfers as they found peace in the water and escape from everything that was happening on land during that time.
Rich, can you tell us a little bit about?
So I wrote a good amount of music for this film, and as much fun as it must have been for Sean to explore the various dimensions of what Irish surfing was developing into at that time. So you have the Troubles, you have 60s subculture, surf culture, hippie culture. The music kind of speaks to all of those angles, and just like you, I had no idea that Irish surfing was a thing before Sean said, oh, I'm making this film about Irish surfing. Like, Irish what? So as we started to, and we journeyed to Ventura, right? And to Laguna to meet some of the people in the story, because they live here now, because obviously there's great surfing here. But then as the cuts started to come in, and he said, I'm thinking this for this scene and something kind of Beach Boys for this scene. It was a really fun musical exploration, as much as it would have been to explore film-wise. It was a joy as a composer.
Putting that all together and working on something like this, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of time. So you're steeped in it, your heart and soul. You're bleeding this film at the end, right?
Yeah, it's like, Rich is there right from the beginning, in addition to being a great music composer, which I'm honored that his music is in it. He's also my brother-in-law. So it was, Rich has worn many hats, from picking up the Kevin Naughton reel of archive 16 millimeter film in LA about 3 years ago, us getting that digitized. It was the thing that I've been honored with over the last 3 years working on this is that, I got to, being an Irish, descent, and then a surfer, I got to transport myself for the last 3 years and live in their world for a while. And now I'm super excited to share that at the West Coast premiere tonight at the film festival here in Oceanside, because it was a truly magical time. It was in some ways the best of times, because it was a surfing paradise unknown to the outside world. But also, there was some real trouble in Ireland at that time too, and to share that world, and then the sonic landscape that Rich has helped create to help transport the filmmakers, me, but now the audience, a wonderful combination. And Rich was also joined by a very I've honored to have Seamus Egan, one of the most prominent Irish musicians in my mind in the world, founder of Solace, who composed a lot of our Irish music for the film. In addition to, we have Van Morrison, we have the Chieftains, and the original score from Rich is, it's just, I'm a huge music person in addition to film person. The soundtrack was there way before even any film was down for the film, and just to see it fully realized with Rich's great work has been such a joy, so much fun.
Likewise, man.
Yeah.
How do we connect with you on social media?
So you can connect. The film is keepitasecretfilm.com. We are really kicking off. We premiered the film last November in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and then the premiere in America was at Doc NYC in November here in U.S. But this is our West Coast, and I think we're doing 7 festivals over the next 4 weeks. So it's appropriately for St. Patrick's Day. The film is taking off. So yeah, you can follow us there on social media or just our website, keepitasecretfilm.com.
Any way to connect with you too?
Oh, yeah, you can. Well, this is a band that I'm in, Orange County Death March. So go to Instagram at Orange County Death March if you want to connect with me. Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's interesting. The documentary films really they do pull back the curtain and let you see something completely different that you never knew existed. It really enlightens people. I think it really helps people understand something new.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very curious. I feel like, as much as I grew up in an Irish-American family, I'd been to Ireland. There's some director's journey in this film. But, a lot of things that I did not know about, in terms of my Irish roots, it was a true education for me, and which is, to me, that's, part of filmmaking is like discovery. And, I hope, I love to hear that, folks are taking away a slice of Irish history that to my hunch 4 years ago was an unknown history, which is kind of my favorite histories, those ones that are less well-trod. And I'm super stoked to share that film tonight with that. And also couldn't be more excited to share it here at Oceanside, which is a surf mecca in itself.
Thank you.
So thank you for having us. We're stoked to be here.
For the viewers out there that see a film like this, a documentary film like this, and think, I have this story to tell, what can you share with them? What kind of tidbits of knowledge maybe you can share with them that you could really do this?
The biggest thing, I had been doing short films in Brooklyn. Rich and I, we met in New York. And, what I started doing was, my passions were music. Rich and I played music together for years, and my MO with learning and my style is like the way you start is and get going to a next target is by starting. And I just started filming on my own, and also talking to people. My associate producer was a neighbor of mine, Sabina Kryenbuhl, who's based in New York and a very prominent Academy Award-winning editor in her own right. She was very encouraging early on, so talk to other people. The thing that I'm very blessed with is having some amazing mentors who I've relied on, and quite frankly, the enthusiasm for the subject. I think that if you're passionate about a subject, that's probably the number one thing as I'm kind of starting to work towards the next project, is finding that project and that subject that's going to sustain you, because ultimately that's what got so many people involved that were truly experts in the film industry that came along because they believed in the story. It was very humbling to me as a first-time feature filmmaker to have them join, and even Rich. Rich has done commercials for Audi and big things, to come on and just say, okay, what do you need? And then come on as music composer was great. And I can think about, probably about 40, 50 people who also just kind of raised their hand and said, hey, how can I help? Which is great. So, I'd say the lesson learned is how do you get there is by just starting a project and then reaching out to others.
If I can embarrass you for a second, Sean is so successful at things because he doesn't wait for conditions to be perfect before he just goes, right? So you had an idea to make this film, and you were just like, I don't know exactly what needs to fall into place, but I'm just going to go and keep going until it's done, and that's what you did.
And things still aren't perfect, just for the record. Things are still far from perfect. So, and I'm okay with that, actually. Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. We're excited to play your film here, to West Coast premiere your film here at Oceanside. We appreciate it very much.
Same here.
Thank you for having us. Thanks.
Great to be here.
Michael Vasquez reporting from the Oceanside International Film Festival.